Oh. Pajama time. That's how scripted this is. I completely forgot to move the camera. Oh dear. Yes. So, greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Yeah, so intermittent hobbying the past few days. And then, so, literally, all I've done this week is repaint this original Warlord Titan. Well, yeah, I did the reds, and it was more the carapace. Because looking at some of the pictures of the original box art, not that you can focus or anything, my colour choices were wrong. Because I don't know, it must have been the picture I looked at for reference originally must have been a bit skew with, but from the box art it's more sort of black wiggly bits on yellow. So that's now been rectified. So that's the main thing. Ooh. That'll do. So yeah, so literally just redoing the reds and doing the back armor of the Beetleback variant of the Warlord. So done that. Painted these two little dudes, which came with the Sovereign land ship. So these are two little guys that you can put on the back of the Sovereign land ship that are just basically going, "Hey, what's going on?" with their rifles. So I did them yesterday. Dug out this other Warlord that I had, and what weapons I had available for it, because with this one it did used to have a macro cannon, but in relocating I've lost said macro cannon, so all we have is this defense laser, so that's on there instead now. So I actually glued it in place this time, so not going anywhere. But there's that, and put him over there, put them over there. You can get out of your way. Where do I want to put you? Because you're not going to stay for a while, I'm not going to deal with you just yet. Yeah, you can go back in there. I've also got not sure if I showed these before, but I did get hold of some metal reavers. So I got them to work about with, and that. So I actually bought some bits off eBay as well, because I needed some extra like the shoulder pads. They just weren't right, so I got an appropriate one. So the one that I bought was wrong, and I was actually given one and I've had to strip that down and reposition the weapons. But they're a project for another time. I'm trying to I'm trying to just do so much. Yes. So these are my mechanicum dudes that we started a couple of weeks ago, and just obviously getting around to doing more of them. So let's find what I'm looking for. Snippers. And I need some paint as well, because we're still painting parts of these guys. Here. How is everybody's week anyway? What's been occurring in your neck of the woods? Have you managed to get some hobbying done? Have you done snafu? Shrine pads. So myself, I've had another visit to the mechanic for my car. So that's more money spent, and that's Christmas is going to be, well, it is going to be pretty poor anyway, so enjoy. It's one of those things. I think we all have our rough times, so we've got to deal with it and move on. So yes, it's finishing. We got to finish this, really. It'd be rude not to. Double checking what I've missed stuff. We'll do the Omniscience axe. Get that done. Where's those quickly. Right. Good. Eyes focused. Yes. Let's in the because it's painted, I'm using super glue to fix these together. He says, as they don't seem to. That's better. Well, that's the thing, you always got to make sure you've got a clean connection with it. Because otherwise it's not going to properly adhere. So these are the phalanx with the plasma fusels. So you have one of these on each base of phalanx. That's right. That way it's weird because in like Heresy you can have I think it's every third can have a multi-melter or a plasma fusel. or Irad cleanser, I think it was. But oh, I'm misplacing stuff, but that's the rough lay of the land. Just finding it again. And when you've got all these little phalanx to pop together, because everything else is contained, it's only the phalanx that need to are two parts. You've also got the Ursarax, which are the close combat ones you have to stick together. Ursarax ones, that's sort of fat then. Ah, but that's where they are. Ha ha ha! That's Stuart. I was literally because I've been having major car issues today, so I had to go. I actually was down Hockley. My mate's mechanic. He's been doing my car. So like last week, I took it in to replace a rear suspension. On one side, so that was a piece of money. And then yesterday, when I've gone down there to weigh him out, I've noticed there's not a good sound coming out, very grindy, and so I had to have one of the other suspensions also changed. So that's double the money off. So all my prep that I had planned went to shit. So I did start on these last night. So I was looking up on the pictures, on like the artwork, and I was in two minds, because obviously with the, if I get the so with the land ship that I done the other week, I was thinking, well, obviously I've gone with this sort of like stony grey, like battleship grey look with it, and then I thought, well, I can't really go olive drab or like, you know, safari style, because that was my initial idea, was like, you know, turn of the century sort of olive, you know, sand sort of colour. But then I thought, now I've really got to go with the traditional sort of red and white belts, you know, because obviously I was thinking like one of the pictures that I was looking up, like Victorian era uniforms for the British Empire, and then you see a picture with what's his face, Michael Caine in Zulu. So oh yeah, red tunic, sir, and get the old white belts and stuff. But I kept the backpack sort of sandy coloured, because I just thought I didn't like the idea of a white backpack with the pith helmet in white, because it would be just connecting. So yes, so that's with me little tonk. But yeah, I had these out here. Literally, I was just sitting here at the start going, well, I've got an old Adeptus Titanicus original Warlord that's in pieces I could put together. I've got these guys, which I started about 2 weeks ago. um, but yeah, so there's those little chaps that you said were a little feature for the Sovereign. I say this kit, I absolutely love it because it's just like you can actually cause physical harm with this thing. But yes, it's a wonderful, wonderful tank. I've got the. I was going to start on the Sovereign, not the Sovereign. That's the Sovereign. The land, not the train, that the Union faction, because that looks interesting and looks fun. You know, who doesn't like trains? So that's down by the side here. So, but I was actually talking to some friends yesterday who were looking at getting into Armored Clash. So I said, oh yeah, you get into that because there was an interesting. We've been having an interesting conversation because when I put up the unboxing video for it the other day, one of the comments on that now, and I couldn't tell. You know, like sometimes you can tell it's sarcasm, sort of thing, and it's written in such a way that I can't actually tell. I'm thinking, is this guy serious, or is it actually sarcasm? But it was going, oh, why do you want to do that when you can, you know, pay £600 Great British pounds for the LI armies? I'm like, what? Okay. I said, well, I've already got LI stuff, so I want to do this because I love the aesthetic from like Dystopian Wars and Armored Clash. So, but I've just been racking my brains. I was talking to a friend, and he was like, I don't know if he's actually serious about it or not. But yes, this is a behemoth of a beast, and it is absolutely gorgeous. As I said, I was really happy with how St. Paul's turned out. So, not magnetized it because you're not going to be spinning it around or anything. So I've got that and the Monarch with the cannons. So that's interchangeable for whenever I get to actually utilize this. But I've got such a backlog. Hey, plus we love the guys at Warcraft. We do love the guys at Warcraft. So I'm still just waiting for the new and improved War Cradle. Sorry, the new and improved Wayland Games, which is conveniently like on my way home from work. Oh no, I seem to have turned right off the 127. But yeah, I saw the little post that Lydia put up in the socials and that. And you know, seeing that expanse of space and thinking of the possibilities and like, you know, getting some games down there once it gets opened down that way. It's all exciting times, and we're looking forward to it. As I say, there's location wise, you know, being like 4 or 5 minutes from the M25 isn't going to hurt. And was it West Horndon's only about half a mile away, the train station anyway. So yes, good times. Oh no, I accidentally pulled into the parking lot. Oh, it's so easily done nowadays, you know. It's like, because where I live in Benfleet still, but I work in Harlow. So whenever I used to go to Wayland for supplies and stuff on like a Monday or Friday night, it's always like coming via Chelmsford most of the times because you know, A127, A12 is normally a bit finicky at times, and then on the whole getting through Rayleigh. So I'd actually go through the back way, so to speak, And it was, as I said, I was down going past there today because I was going to pick Phil Tozer. Actually, I asked him to pick us up from my house. Can you pick me up from my house so I can go get my car, please? Because I've been using the other half's car to get to work. But you know, now with the new venue, it's a good location, especially for travelling travelling gamers coming to play games at the new site once it's open. Once you've opened the doors and let the torrent of people rush in. We need plastic and resin crack. I remember playing at the old current Wayland during the expansion. So I still remember when it was all flipped around and the gaming hall was on the right hand side, and then you had the central bit where the food catering was, and then you had the warehouse, and then it all got flipped around. That was I went down on the last day of gaming. I actually went down to pay my respects and that, and chatted with Ollie and Lydia, and yeah, it was just all those memories flooding back. Like when we my little gaming group, Facebook gaming group, we used to hire out the hall during the and used to let Scott do his stock take and supervise us. And this was back when Warren and Justin, when you had Beasts still were based down there, and I remember we was doing an apocalypse game, and at the end of where we had like 3 or 4 tables set up, and it was actually the first game I actually that particular time when Warren was there, but we were playing Imperials versus whatever, and next to where we were set up, there was the Death Star table for this new game coming out called X-Wing, and Warren was having a little demo game with somebody. So he was next to us, and because it being 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd got myself a beverage of the alcoholic nature from the bar, and I had the pint on. I'd pull it onto the actual gaming surface, and Warren was like talking to the person he was with, and he's looked over and he said, "What's that pint doing there?" sort of thing. And I just replied, "Oh, I think it's deep striking." But yeah, that's some fun times down the old one. But I have to evolve onwards and upwards. Yeah, Rayleigh was always the worst part of the trip, not counting the Dartford crossing. Yeah, there is. Yeah, Dartford is. Yeah, it's gotten easier since I took the tolls out, but it still has accidents, unfortunately. Yeah, many hours playing X-Wing during those days. Yeah, because you used to go down there and meet up with like Pete Wood as well, didn't you? And the X-Wing group, whatever squadron, I can't remember, 359 squadron or whatever it was. But yeah, I played X-Wing down there a couple of times, but that was like between friends. Brian Jenkins, the gaming board that a couple of gaming boards I think he built for you back when he was still doing his YouTube with Templars Crusader. I know I think he'd done quite a few bits he did. I think he'd done the Zone Mortalis as well. New Kitchen 2. Oh my god! Food will be vastly expanded. I'm liking the sound of that, Stuart. I'm liking it. We like food. I say, was it the little meal deal as well? It was the hot dog drink in bag of crisps or a snack. I still don't even know. I can't even remember how much it was. I just always used to have that on a gaming day, going down there and playing about and stuff. Yeah, just good place to hang out and roll dice. And the few Dystopian Wars little events that were run there, that Phil was running. I'm still reigning champion. That was I took out the Crown Fleet, and I was using some of the Indian. Well, I used I used the Cylon, isn't it, or Cylon platforms. I had 3 of them, and I used the Gloriana. I absolutely, it's such a beast. It's just like, dunk, I'm going to steam towards them and blow the crap out of them. Yeah, you went to the wrong country, Paul. That's your problem. Over there. Actually, where's he hasn't been around for a while as well. Greg, because Greg normally sort of appears, but he hasn't been on for about a month. It was like a 5. Yeah, it was about that. It was pretty reasonable. You know, you got a giant hot dog. You got your drink of choice and a snacky. Or it was either a chocolate bar or a bag of crisps, one or two. So good times were had by all, I feel. Free. Oh yes, definitely. Once it's open to the pathological gaming public, I'm going there. I still remember PAX Unplugged in 2019 and seeing Darren and thinking, no, can't be. It was. Yes, Mr. Mackinach. Thank you very much for dropping in. I'll make sure, when, as I said, there was a very rushed thing, I'll make sure that I'll have some Armoured Clash stuff. Obviously, if I start doing the train next week. So I'll definitely have that up for assemblage and building and painting and that. But yeah, thank you very much for dropping in, and look forward to seeing the new digs once we're allowed to visit. So take it easy, buddy. Oh. Four. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Saw Greg a few weeks ago. We're both planning post-inauguration bailout plans. Not easy when you have a family, though. Well, yeah, that is the that's the interesting part of living in America. Oh. That was quite nice. Stuart dropping in. He's done it a couple of times in the past as well. And typically he comes in when I'm not doing any dystopian or Armoured Clash. I'm sure that I know that there's like a couple of my friends, they are waiting for, I think, well, it's definitely the Covenant, sorry, the Enlightened, the Covenant of Antarctica, when the Enlightened stuff for Armoured Clash comes out. So there's a few things. Because all the factions, like you can see, like on the was it Legion of Steel? I think the web on the Facebook. So I'll just reference that 2 secs. Storm of Steel. So yeah, it's a group on Facebook called Storm of Steel, which is for Armoured Clash. So you can go onto there, hang out with other people interested in Armoured Clash, and see all the little sort of artworks that they put out and stuff, and concept drawings as well. So there's lots to keep you entertained. That's another friend of mine I was talking to the other day. He's into dystopian wars now. And luckily he's got somebody near as well, which is also into dystopian wars. And that's when the fun starts, because once you start getting regular gaming going, you start seeing other ships and go, oh, I want to try some of them. So, yeah, Paul, there was Greg actually sent me a gift. He threatened it many months ago. He threatened me with this gift, and I said, "You don't need to do that. I'm fine, thank you. There's no need." He said, "No, I'll get it for you." I said, "No, it's fine. There's absolutely no need." He said, "Well, my mum's coming over to visit. I can give it to her, and she will drop it off round to yours, because she's always down that way." And I distinctly said, like, "No, don't worry, I'm fine." Because what he got me was the infamous popcorn bucket. so shy hello. so he really shouldn't have, but he did. And it was when it was delivered to the hand of my partner's son, who was like opening the door because there was someone knocking at it. And again, "Oh yeah, it was just in a plastic bag." It was in a plastic bag. And he's like, I've come home and they're just looking at me going, "What? I didn't realise you was into that weird stuff." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Because I had no clue. Because this was like literally like a month or two after he said that she was coming over, and obviously things got waylaid. And then just out of the blue, Shy Halud, Kinky Sex Bucket, turns up. So it's clean. At least he didn't use it. But yes. Yes. Oh dear. Yeah, sphincter bucket indeed. Hey, hello, Fiona. How are you today? I'm assuming the winds have calmed down over there. Grass. So it's been. Get my back up so I can actually see what I'm doing. It's been. Yes. Good, good, good. Yeah. They're overseeing it. Ross. Where did I put the bloody lid? Guess what? Some places still without power. Bloody hell! I had I have a friend, Ollie, who is he works for like the National Grid, and the other day when the storm was kicking off over here, him and his like co-workers are out overtime trying to get power restarted and going out to houses and stuff like that. And he was travelling back, like he was working like late shift, and he was travelling back, and he got a puncture. And the thing is, they don't have like spares because they're full up of electrical equipment and stuff like that. And so you had to wait for recovery, and so recovery was going to be up to sort of 3 hours, and this was already at like 12 o'clock at night. So he faffed around, sat around. There's not a lot you can do when you're in the middle of like nowhere practically at that time. It came up to sort of the 3 hour mark, and then they've basically said, yeah, it's going to be another sort of like 45 minutes. So, but he eventually, once he was finally recovered and taken back to the yard, it was sort of like he didn't get home until like 10 a.m. the following day. So he was a little bit tired, so he went and had a McDonald's. As you do. Where's the... Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be changing a tyre at midnight regardless whether I had one or not. I was trying to get out of work. There was this like, again, where I work in Harlow and live on the other side of Essex. It was really like incredibly heavy fog. It was ridiculously heavy, and so everyone slows up because you literally cannot see anything. You're just in white, and I was trying to take a sort of back double to sort of miss some of the like heavier roads and all that sort of stuff. And I remember I was going over like this. There was a very narrow bridge, and I think I hit the side bit with my tyre, sort of thing, a little curb or something like that. But that basically blew the tyre, and so it's like, oh Jesus! So I pulled over. It was a fairly new car that I'd taken ownership of, and so I've gone to get the tyre iron and the jack and all that. Unfortunately, the tyre iron that I had with this car and the kit didn't fit the bolts, so I couldn't actually change a tyre. I'm like, what the hell? So I had to phone up for recovery, and because of the situations and priorities, I was in my car for several hours at night in freezing sort of cold fog, hazards on sort of thing. I did have a young lad in his car pulled up and came and checked on us. And I said, yeah, this is the situation, explained what was going on. And so, oh, well, I'll just check his one. And he got his one out, didn't fit either. I went, oh, look, well, thank you for stopping. It's really nice. I much appreciated, especially like you for today and all that sort of stuff. But it was really nice that he actually just came over and checked, because he didn't know who I was. But he just, you're all right, everything okay? Yeah. And so he went off on his merry way. But it was a stage. I was sitting in the car and I just turned, things off because I was wasting battery and all that sort of business and all that. And I was just listening to the noises of the night, and it's just like I turned the lights off of the car, and you could not see anything, and you just hear all these noises, and you start going. I know that's like a vole, but still, it could be a monster vole. Well, what was that noise? So that was an interesting evening, to say the least. Are you going to get Dark and Mechanicum kit for the Legions Imperialis? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Especially not at the moment, because I have no money due to the car problems. So I think everything will be on a back burner. Obviously, I've got stuff to be getting on with anyway. So what with the my Kickstarter stuff turning up for BattleTech. So I've got that to think about. I've got the preview stuff that I've been sent out for Armoured Clash to be getting on with, and plus my Crown Armoured Clash force. So I've got a few things of that to sort out. So yeah, at least that's something I'm kind of grateful for. So it could be worse. But luckily, it isn't. Apart from the fact that it's Christmas and I don't have any money. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. Bean counters and the like love their cost efficiencies. Yeah. Now I want to hear a horror story about the monster vole that haunts the A127. Oh, this wasn't the A127, my friend. This was off the A414. The most cursed road in humanity's existence. Maybe not the most cursed road. You got, let's say that down the road from that, towards Epping, you've got between Epping and Chingford, the road there apparently is haunted by Dick Turpin. So that's different. The A414 runs between Chelmsford. Well, actually, it goes from Malden via Chelmsford, via Harlow, via Hertford to Stevenage and to the A1. So it covers quite a lot from the coast all the way over to the A1. But it's not like obviously, well, it's an A road, so there's a couple of bits where there's a dual carriageway. Most notably in Harlow and Chelmsford. Well, partly, no, actually not. Yeah. Parts. So it goes past Highland Park from the A12. It kind of jumps. I mean, it would make sense though. He's not going to get many people to stand and deliver these days. Not the way they drive down that road. Stand up! Oh, God. I was also one of the in my sort of teen years, because I didn't start driving till much later, so I was a conscientious backseat in occupier. But the this particular road that goes Epping High Road, it goes from Woodford to Epping via Chingford. It's like there's no street lights down it because obviously no need. There's no houses. It's just woods between towns, villages, or whatever. And driving down it at night and then having your mate turn the headlights off, it's freaky as hell. It's a little bit scary. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much squeaky bum time, indeed. Oh, you're such an arsehole. The cash is reportedly making a big comeback. Wow. Having money in your pocket or your bank account even is much nicer than not. And everything just seems to be take. It was realization that I had a few years ago. It's like when I was sort of growing up, like as an early teen sort of thing. You always remember that your grandparents and all that, they had savings, and that has gotten smaller as we've gotten older. So most people are working to live, and there's no savings, sort of thing, because everything's so much dearer and the wages aren't that great. The surge in billionaires becoming a thing, and that's basically, if you play Monopoly and you had all the properties and stuff like that, and you're earning all that money, and there's no other money, and you're sitting on it going, I've got the money. Oh yeah, great to win a game. But you've got the money. So the money's not in the actual market, and there's not enough money to go around. It's simplifying it a little, but that's it's just one of those things where, oh yeah, I've got so much money. Well done, but you could utilize it. And when they say about the thing that always gets me when you hit, like especially in America, where they do the tax breaks for the millionaire billionaires and all that sort of stuff, and they say, oh, it'll trickle down. No, it doesn't. It totally doesn't. Because if tax breaks, if the money saved did trickle down, then like people like Amazon workers would be one of the wealthiest jobs to have. It doesn't. So it's all a fib. It's very annoying. Grrr. The world is poop at the moment, unfortunately. But as long as we all chill together, safe, with electric, sort of thing, unlike some of those poor people still over in Ireland and parts of the UK as well. It's you would have thought they'd have done something there. There'd be some vast improvement in everything. When does the Star Trek timeline start? These are the Ursarax. So what's everyone working on tonight anyway? You're just chilling with the relaxing tunes in the background. Paperwork for work. My pile of shame is massive, but work comes first. Yeah, you've got to pay the bills, haven't you? How is the good Sarah and the Bambino? Nothing much at the moment. I won't be back at my main job until around January. Contract fella. Oh, that's a bit crap. You all right for now? My own pile of shame is looking at me reproachfully. just don't look. Don't look. Sarah's good. Charlie's 2 now. Bloody hell. Where did the time go? Which is crazy. We're having him assessed for speech delay. One more meeting to go, and hopefully he'll start speech therapy in the new year. Yeah, like my lad Thomas, we was like his speech was, held back. My nephew as well. My longest serving friend's boy. He didn't speak anything until he was about, like literally didn't speak anything until he was about 5 or 6, and now he speaks. Just a pain in the neck. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying. Just don't look at it, Fionn. Do not. It knows. It senses you. It smells the fear. Hey. Oh, you missed out. I was talking about our conversation earlier on about the YouTube comment. We had Stuart McInnes, who is one of the head guys at War Cradle. He dropped in and said, "Oh, I saw you doing little guys, but not our Armored Clash." So I went, "Well, I did these last night." So that's what I was doing when we were chatting, but it's not. There you go. So 2 little soldiers. And then I got the sovereign out, and he was appeased. But yeah, it was just that whole conversation. Like we can't identify if it's sarcasm or not. The last thing I completed last month was metal miniature of the Wyvern 2C. Ooh. So was that with that metal one, where would you have obtained such a wonder? Like not YouTube, eBay type thing, or imagine not wanting to spend 600 Great British pounds on a game. This is how I learn I'm truly one of the proletariat. I actually Pookie messaged me earlier on asking, said, are you coming to the meetup on Saturday? And I said, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get time off. And even if I could get time off, I couldn't afford it because after last week's expenditure of the shock absorbers, guess what was happening to my car yesterday? It was having more done to it. So I have no cash. So I definitely wouldn't be able to get down there or do anything because I'd had no money whatsoever. So yeah, sucks to be me. We're under the classic Battletech Militias line. Nice. I'll definitely check them out as well because, as I say, after last week and the building of the big timber wolf, I really do rate the big models. Ben, I won't. I have a lot of plastic Battletech minis to paint, and I've yet to receive my shipping notification. You've still not received it, jeez. And you got in sort of early doors as well, didn't you? Because I didn't actually get my order in until after the Kickstarter had finished, and they had like, oh yeah, no, we haven't really finished. If you want to put it in there or that, and I managed to squeeze in there. I really want my hands on that big Timby. Where's small Timby? I'll put him over there. So when I was Tuesday, I was tidying up the room and that. So I found a little space to put him. You're not going to. Obviously, the camera's never going to focus. Oh, it did. So the free handing of the Ghost Bear symbol. It's more like a little sad panda, but I'm happy. That is a sweet, and it is a direct copy of the actual small one. So fucking gorgeous. So that's the thing. If they redid Battletech at that scale, fuck. Because the thing is, like, obviously, Battletech, you don't often have massive engagements. You know, Ghost Bears, best boys. Oh yeah. Absolutely Ghost Bears it up, baby. Because of Ghost Bears legacy. Well, spirit cats maybe get stoned and do nothing. Do you remember the 28 minute? No. I like the before getting involved in this, like the old Battletech, was it like I know they done like lead models back in the day, but they also done like the cardboard cutout push out bits, wouldn't they? Because I think the only time I played the game in the sort of early mid 90s was with the cardboard bits with my Hunchback. So the Hunchback was the first mech that I played with in BattleTech universe. I knew of BattleTech. I knew of BattleTech all the way from the 80s because when I used to go on my adventures into London, so when I was like 12, 13, 14, I would go and jump on the bus from Chinkford down to Walthamstow Central, the underground, the end of the line of the Victoria line. Jump on that, get a travel card, which was like £3 back in those days. Not like the 20 odd quid nowadays. Actually, might be even a bit more. And then I'd go down to Oxford Street, and then literally come out and just wander around the place looking at things. I had no idea where I was going. I was just, just walking. Done Oxford Street, Oxford Circus. Then I found Hamleys, and obviously in Oxford Street, up near Tottenham Court Road, used to be the Virgin Megastore. So I'd go in there, and they had all the music. You could stand there with the headsets on, listening to the latest tracks and stuff. But they actually had a gaming section upstairs, so not only computer games, but actually board games and stuff. And in that's where they used to have BattleTech. And I remember seeing the original, when they brought out the Omnimex with the Mad Cat, I remember seeing that in that store, and sort of like, I think like maybe 1990, something like that. I'm thinking, hey, these are kind of cool. Hunchback is a noble beast. It's the Ultra AC20. That's why it's a noble beast. It's like, yeah, small, medium. Well, it's a medium, but still 50 ton. But you don't want it behind you at close range. Clan Wolf and Clan Sea Fox are getting most of the love at the moment. Yeah, the Clan Wolf was always always Clan Wolf and Jade Falcon, because obviously the first game as well. Like, and again, from the people that recruited via computer games. So Clan Wolf, Clan Jade Falcon, then obviously Ghost Bears, and you had a bit of Smoke Jaguar, but because obviously Smoke Jaguar gets screwed over, not a lot. I've not seen a lot of people putting out Smoke Jaguar mechs. Oh, we don't want to be those guys. They died. 1980s, the height of human civilization. Well, that was the start of the decline, because my actual operating theory is that the world has been slowly going to shit ever since the end of disco. Disco stopped, things got dark. I confess my knowledge becomes extremely patchy after the onset of the Fedcom Civil War. Fedcom, lost but not forgotten. Recent lore has been something of a mess, it has to be said. Hunchback is like, this 600-meter diameter zone is mine and no one else's. Enter and have your can opened. True. My first ever PC game was Mech Warrior 3. Yeah, Mech Warrior 3 was awesome. Nothing since that whole franchise has matched the vibe for me. Interesting theory. Well, you look at it. You look at some charts and graphs and stuff, and how the world has gone to shit since the end of disco. I'm just going to grab some refreshments. Yeah, I used to play Mech Commander as well. I had Mech Commander Gold, which was the sort of like Game of the Year version, wasn't it? Going around with me Warhawk. My current tipple, well, very current, it's been my tipple for the year really, which is Jack Daniel's Honey with Pepsi Max. So literally I just open a bottle, like 500 milliliter bottle of Pepsi Max. That's the wrong fucking lid. And where there is no Pepsi Max, I fill it with Jack Daniel's honey, and it's quite a nice little beverage. So, salute. Yeah, I enjoyed Mech Commander more because I like the whole the real time strategy type element and doing those missions and getting your little mechs and well, you go over there, you go over there, you go over there sort of thing. Because it's like again, it's like the early sort of Command and Conquer slash, well, not Command and Conquer was already you weren't mining resources, but you was claiming resources when you defeated an enemy and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and your point is, Paul, those FMV mission briefings, man, Mech Warrior or Mech Commander. If you don't have pulpy FMV sequences, we can't be friends. And a certain actress that would later gain fame in Star Trek Voyager was in the first game. I dabbled with Star Trek Voyager. I never really done that. I think I've done the first season, but yeah, I used to actually, funny enough, when our store had a second store, and I'd go and sort of run that on the odd occasion. The guy who was normally there had his DVDs and DVD player underneath the desk for when it was quiet, and he had like box sets of Voyager, so I started watching it. Hey Birdie, how are you, buddy? I spent all evening with my scouts making me feel old, and now all this is making me feel young. I'm getting temporal whiplash. Kate McGrew, if I'm not mistaken. See, I remember Kate McGrew from Remo, Unarmed and Dangerous. That's what I was first introduced to her. She played a military type, like judicial military, who was investigating some bad dudes, and Remo was investigating bad dudes, and he was unarmed and dangerous, and he'd learned stuff like ninja type thing from some mystical Chinese chap. The best type of whiplash. Yes. I'm having a right old problem with this. Oh, there you go. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, Prime Heretic. Greetings, buddy. How are you today? That's the thing, it probably was her. But then, you know, you got a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. It was like, I saw a reel today where this actor's in his like back garden. He's talking about on IMDb, I've got like 137 credits. I was in like so many movies of that, and you know, this, that, and the other. But I'm only ever known for one thing, and that was combing the desert and Spaceballs. So it's just like, yeah, I can see, you know, as an actor, it's like nobody remembers you apart from the, oh yeah, I was in Spaceballs, combing the desert. Like, oh yeah, and it's instant. That must be a little bit, you know, like, oh. I'm good. Is this new Army Clash stuff? Um, these, what I'm doing at the moment, are actually Legions Imperialis. Um, that is my recent painting of some Armored Clash stuff, which is when you get the Sovereign landship, as it's called. When you get this, you get these two little dudes, which you obviously paint up and you just stick them on here, just as an added feature of the landship. So that's what they do. She was in Dragon Age. She voiced Flemeth. Yeah, I can hear it now. Canned air apparently are now a thing in real life. Yes, it is. Got to duck out for a bit. Have a good night, folks. Yeah. Good night. Well, good evening to you, sir. Was it? What time now? Almost 10 o'clock. So you're 5 hours behind. So it's 5 p.m. where you are, I believe. Finish. Crikey, glad I've not done that for the boats. Well, yeah. But so they didn't have to do it for that, they just did. Something different. Sometimes it's just the nice little touches like that that can garnish goodwill amongst the gaming people. So we've been doing, yeah, cross-pollination of stuff this evening. So we had what I was working on the other night with a repaint of this to match the sort of box art. I really apologise for the fact that this camera is shite at focusing. I don't think it has a macro setting, unfortunately. Actually, I'm going to just check, see if, oh, if that's any better. Obviously not. So I'm now getting myself all upside down. There you go. No, that doesn't zoom in. And plus it's on a small bit, so. There we go. One day. Yeah, so we had, as I said, Stuart McInnes pop in and goes a little update on, well, little mention of what's going to happen with the new gaming facilities for Wayland Games, where they're relocating. So yes, there's also a reveals today for the Gundam Build World Championship UK sector, but for the influencers subdivisional, where Spend Painting came first, followed by Savage Orc Guy. That's certain and lovely Louise Sugden, and Chloe Paints came in third. So very well done to them all. I know that they're all really chuffed at getting a place in it. I think we've still got to wait for the actual winners, sort of thing, because I think the influencers were obviously subdivisional, because you also had the Rivals Corner did a subdivisional as well in cahoots with Bandai UK. So that is So, but yeah, so it's all exciting times for those people. I had fun. That's what matters, really. When I hear Wayland, I usually think of Wayland Yutani. See, the Wayland that they have here is the Wayland of like King Arthur. Or something like that. Something from back those dams. Hmm. Alright, I was just trying and sort some shit out. That's a technical term for it. Technical term. Right. There's a Wayland's Forge here in Brum, but they're a really nice little board game hobby shop in the city centre. That's cool. I need to go look at those entries. I asked the in-laws for my first. Pardon me. Pardon me. For my birthday back in the summer, and they are apparently almost here. Yeah. They should try harder. They should get out there, walk the streets, get those Gumpler kits to you. Alternatively, I can recommend using Rivals Corner for all your Gumpler needs. And it's Dennis's birthday today as well. Who runs Rivals Corner. Thank you very much, Phil. Snuck in there, a little sneeze. A little cheeky sneeze. That's the Myrmidons. Now I've got a few kits to be, again, with my backlog. I do have a fair bit of backlog. So I've got, like if I was, when I'm getting back into like dystopian wars mode with painting of ships, I've got my French side of things. So lots of skimmers there. So I've got a few of them to do. I've done all my Italians, so they're all done. But yeah, it's just I've got obviously the Vauban and the Corian aircraft carriers for the French side of things, but I've got all their support vessels to knock out as well. So I really should do them at some stage, because then they're done. Done all my engine ships, I believe. He says, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done all my engine ones. Oh, I've still got Canadians. I've got like one box of Canadians, which I haven't built yet. And yeah, but it's mostly French. Yeah, it's mostly French. And obviously with Armoured Clash, I've still got my crown to be getting on with, and the Union stuff. I've got a battle group of Union soldiers. So yeah, there's definitely a fair bit to be working on. Woo. Gosh. You're onto your Canadians at the moment. Ah, cool. At least one of us is doing Canadians. And they have really good ships as well. They are quite popular. Finally got my cousin into. Did the Tillock Galt the other. Oh yeah, I've done that. I've done that. That was a beautiful ship. And I always remember saying about the Nautilus should be its own thing, and then they brought out the Nautilus. They probably was doing it anyway, but still, it's nice to say like, oh, I mentioned it, I wished for it, and it happened. So dreams do come true. Finally got my cousin into the game, and he's just sent me the pics of his new Italians. Yeah, I really like the Italians. I said like the Minerva carrier I liked from the start, and the Mars, pretty cool little ship. And then obviously like the Peugeot and the Sagittar. They're all cool. I think it was I did actually watch a show. I think it's on. I think it was on. What was it on? Amazon. Nautilus with Shazad Latif as Captain Nemo. But it's like the telling of Captain Nemo, like the origin, because I didn't realise like Captain Nemo. Everybody knows Captain Nemo, and that he had a submarine called the Nautilus. But I didn't realise that Nemo actually stole it from the British, and then went about doing hunting down, like I think British concerns and stuff, or East India Company, I reckon. So I did not know about that part of the actual story. So it might have been a liberal retelling, but the origin part is still true, if you know what I mean. Depends on the timeline universe, yeah. I think that was the Jules Verne, wasn't it? Who done Captain Nemo, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Although that was the thing when I was, I think it was last year, and I was painting up a Morgana assault submarine as the Nautilus because I wanted it to stand out from the rest of the Morganas. And I thought, I know, I'm going to put 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea on because I couldn't remember. You know, I think I watched it as a kid, but I don't remember much about it. And to be fair, it was totally different to what I remembered. So I was watching it, and I didn't even remember that Kurt Russell was in it. James Mason as Nemo. James Mason as Captain Nemo. Because he was also in the Journey to the Centre of the Earth. He'd done a lot of Disney stuff, James Mason. James Mason. Yeah, it was just one scene when you meet Kurt Russell. Not Kurt Russell, sorry. Kurt Douglas. And he's like this, like, Nemo had attacked this ship and sunk it with the kill saw cutting through it and all that sort of stuff. They were trying to get sailors to go after, him, sort of thing. And Kurt Russell is a sailor. He's a whaler, so he comes with his own harpoon, and he's walking along this like port town, city, whatever. And these people are calling out, "Oh, we need brave men to go and hunt the beast," sort of thing. And he comes along. Now, remember that this is a Disney-backed film back in the 60s when it was done, or 50s, or whatnot. And Kurt Russell appears. He's drunk, or slightly inebriated, and he's got two ladies on his arms of, they're basically good time girls, we shall say. And he comes along and he introduces them. This is Minnie and this is Daisy. So it's like, oh my God, that's like the two most commonly known female-based cartoon characters of Disney were Minnie Mouse and Daisy Duck. It's come along and they're basically good time girls. Ladies of the night, yes. But this was during the day. Were they off the clock? I don't know. Yeah, that was Verne. Jules Verne was French, right? Which would explain it. Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like, in it, like in this Nautilus sort of thing, it's like, oh yeah, like the, East India Company are bad, which, to be fair, they were. And that is something that not a lot of people realise, that India got taken over by a corporate enterprise. Because I know they always say, like, England took over India and all that, but the East India Company was in charge of India for about 200 years before the Britain or Britannia, took over things, and that was purely because, like, they had interests in it, but it was after the Great Revolt or Indian Revolt, whichever side you want to look at it, because there was rumours going around that the I think I called it like the Sampoys, which were like the standing army. Like there was like militarized. Well, the East India Company had a standing army of twice the size of Britain, because of obviously the vast numbers of people out there, and they had a standing army of like 200,000 soldiers. who are all Indian natives of various creeds, Muslim, Sikh, Hindu, and all sort of factions. And the East India Company was an office in London with 35 staff, and at most they had 2,000 sort of like English or British or Britannic, whatever you want to call it, people out there, and everything else was obviously run by this office in London with 35 staff. And it's amazing, like, if you actually like looked up, there's the Rest is History podcast do an episode about it, and it's just like it's sort of like you can't believe, it was jammy, lucky in a lot of respects, but they literally went in there and they just ran it into, well, Sepoys, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, it was the first corporate state, so a company run and owned basically a country. A country which was producing like sorry, I'm just going to have to sort out the thing on here because adverts. Where are we? Skip that. Oh, go back. There you go. It's better. Yeah, so India, when they first went in there, was like after the collapse of the Mughal Empire, they were producing sort of like 40% of the world's GDP. And this company went in there and basically, milked it for all it was worth. And it was all done with Indian backing as well, because it was like Indian bankers that were financing the East India Company to do what they did. They got their money back. They was they regularly repaid them, sort of thing. But they were basically funding it. So yeah, it's just crazy. And if you listen to the Rest is History podcast, at how it all came about and all that sort of stuff, it is just crazy. And just to think that like this is like Amazon running like the US sort of thing. It's just mind-boggling. Ladies of negotiable affection. I like the sound of that. Yes. The agents in India were called factors. If I forgot, I can't remember. It's a significantly more hideous version of Pepsi having the 5th biggest navy. What? The salt monopoly alone was a major money spinner. They were a de facto government, yeah. So they sort of like insinuated themselves into everything. But where like the Mughal Empire that was there before that came crashing down had this system set up, and it was more the fact that if certain factors were different, like with there was a lot of money that the Mughals made, but it looked after, so like a technically like a monarchy, I suppose. Like, well, I must say monarchy, but they basically, yes, they got a lot of money out of it, but they looked after the people. Whereas the East India Company got all the money and didn't look after the people, because like there was like the famines, like Bengal famines, where there was like there'd been floods, crops were ruined, Whereas the Moguls used to have like big sort of places for grain storage and stuff like that, and they provided in those lean times there was grain storage, that they're prepared for that sort of thing. Whereas the East India Company didn't, sort of thing. So if they had sort of almost like benevolent sort of owners, rather than just strip everything, like it even got to a point where like the weavers and all that would like cut off one of their fingers, like, because obviously with the weaving and all that stuff, because they were doing all this work and like conditions weren't great. And that's the thing, when you got a company, a corporation, it's like a faceless corporation because they don't give a shit. But like all the like East India Company sort of like sold like UK sort of based origin thing. It was normally like third sons. It was like the first son would do this, second son would go into the clergy, and then the third son was like normally sent off to the army. Or if you wanted to make your name for yourself, you go to the East India Company, like at like, you know, teenager. The thing was that like 2/3 of all the young sort of like up and coming sort of like kids that went over there died within the first year because of all like the diseases and stuff like that. So, but if you survived and to basically like pension out of there, you'd normally have a nice healthy packet of cash to come home and get your own property and whatever. Like when you sort of drum out that 30, I think it was. So it was like you'd be there for like 15 years. But the mortality rate, and that wasn't through fighting, it was through fucking living and just dying. But they basically asset stripped it pretty much, as much as they could, and didn't look after the people. And the whole, like the Great Revolt, which was in the 19th century, was come about because there was rumours going around. They changed the gunpowder cartridges for the rifles that they had, and there was a rumour going around telling like all the Muslims that the cartridges are made out of pig sort of thing, which is not something that Muslims are, you know, to them pig is a dirty animal. But then they're telling all the sort of like Hindus that it was made from cow, and they're not going to like because cows are sacred animals to them. So that's what, as I say, this rumor was set around, and they said no, and we're not doing this. We're not, and they like threw down. It all kicked off. Pig fat used in the paper, yeah, and that was the thing. And the thing was that apparently there wasn't, but the rumors went out. So pig fat and cow essence or whatever was told and went around all the various sort of factions within the sepoys, and they revolted because it's against their, you know, their religion. And they say, even though there wasn't any, it went around and it all kicked off, and there was like, you know, a good bit of like fighting, massacring on both sides and all that sort of stuff. Obviously worse for the Indians once the East India Company sort of managed to get themselves under control, get back into control or whatever. But that's when Britain basically created the Raj to sort of like, oh no, we're changing this, and East India Company was almost going bankrupt anyway, so they basically just took them over, and then went in and created the Indian Raj, which only lasted about 90 years. But yeah, things could have been a whole lot different if, you know, it wasn't really the way East India Company did it. You know, they were financed, as I said, by Indian bankers who welcomed them in there because they saw like-minded individuals in their business practices. But if they had actually done things differently, it could be in a different world, because it would have been like another, big thing. And to be fair, India was, because of the wealth that it had, was more of a sort of the senior partner in that sort of, it might have been the jewel in the British crown, but it was, Britain was depending more on India than India depended on Britain. So yeah, but at the end of the day, that was a long time ago, and things are different now, and they are a superpower with over 1 billion people living there, and for people and up and coming, business practices, I don't know, and Bollywood's multi-billion industry as well. Visited the Gurkha Museum in Nepal. They talked about the rebellion, and the Gurkhas stayed loyal to the British. We do seem to be entering a new age of empires. Yeah. So the thing is, it's like with China. China is the everlasting empire, because it's technically been an empire since it was unified. It rolls with the times. It goes with things. And the other thing is, like, when you go back to sort of semi-recent history with like the Second World War, and we go, oh, the Second World War, 1939 to 1945. No, the Second World War started in like 1933, was it, or 36, when Japan went into China. China had been fighting the Second World War for several years before everybody else joined in, and Britain and the US were supporting China, with supplies and whatever they could get to them, sort of thing. The same, it's it's just crazy when you think about it. They Second World War for them is like 9 years, something like that. It's crazy. I used to go on exercises with the Gurkhas. Lovely people, absolutely terrifying. Yep. And that's the thing, is the Gurkhas have that sort of fearsome reputation. So, fanatically loyal and ferocious in battle. Like, I think, was it in Bosnia as well? There was a race to get to one of the airports, and you had like the Russians contingent were heading there, and the British contingent were heading in there, and the British basically like radioed ahead and said, "Our Gurkhas will be there shortly," and the Russians backed down. No one I'd rather have at my shoulder. Saw them do a demo at a cricket match once. Absolutely terrifying. And that's the thing. It's like with the Gurkhas, and how, if they serve, they sign up and they serve in the sort of the British Army sort of thing, and it was always a bit like, as part of like the British Empire or even Commonwealth, like if you were as part of that, you had the right to come and live in the mother country or whatever, or you get a pension. So obviously, if they were living over here, then their pension would be the same as if to like the standards of everyone else. But if they live back in the pool, I think they don't get as much, because obviously cost of living over there is a lot different. The late General Michael Jackson as well. Was that the airport one that James Blunt was involved with? Possibly. No, wasn't he? I thought he was in the Gulf, like the second Gulf War. But I don't know. I know one of my friends was out in Bosnia with the Americans. Um, they absolutely play up to the reputation. They enjoy the attention, but then the excrement hits the aeration assistance device. Suddenly, there are bodies everywhere. the the yeah, the thing is, as I say, it's just having a well-earned reputation goes a long way. Um, but that's the thing. It's like the what is it? Oh, completely. Oh, so yeah, sorry. It was a James Blunt thing actually. It was a James Blunt thing. He There was I watched a reel with this a couple of weeks ago, and they were asking about, oh, you were friends with the late Carrie Fisher, and he went, yeah, it was. He actually met her, so he just sort of was making. He'd just come out of the army. He'd started like with the song career sort of thing, and he was flying out to LA for something like a meeting or whatever. So he wasn't really like, he was on the verge, cusp or whatever. And he's on this plane, and he's sitting next to Carrie Fisher. And so they're talking and all that sort of thing. And he said, "I've just got out of the army and I'm embarking upon a music career and stuff like that." And she was like, "Oh, yeah." So like, where you like, you're LA, where you staying? He says, "Well, I don't know yet." And she went, "Well, you're staying with me." And he stayed at Carrie Fisher's place. And apparently he wrote "You're Beautiful" in her bathroom. So it's like, and apparently like she was quite fond of like the arts and stuff, and like she's very eclectic and eccentric sort of decoration or and models, like statues and works of art and stuff like that. But she had these like three or four like cabins in on a land, and there was some other musician bloke living there, sort of thing. And she's like, rent free, so you come live with me, sort of thing. Stay with me, and he stayed there for several weeks while he was over there, and he wrote he's like one of his most notable songs there in her bathroom. I remember him being on Top Gear and saying he had to strap the guitar to the outside of the tank because it wasn't allowed to put the soldiers on the outside. Yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, he had that on the back of the turret. Um, though China's hold has been a bit shaky of late. Yeah, you never know what's going on because obviously very closed. Guy with the tripod of said machine gun. Colleagues inside the post waited for the noise to stop and asked him if he was all right. He might have been a lance corporal. Excuse me. Don't know. He's the world is a crazy place, but there is definitely sort of like changes afoot with everything going on in the world. So hopefully they will sort their fucking shit out. As I said, end of disco, people. End of disco. That's when it all started. I can't back that up. I have no factors, no corroborations of stats or anything. But yeah, in the disco, chocolate time. Love a bit of Orangero. Articles erroneously calls him a sergeant, but I never knew of his rank. Again, it's like, because he's so well spoken and stuff, you would automatically think he was officer. There was an ex-Gurkha on a train home in Nepal when it was robbed at gunpoint. All was going well until they demanded his cookery. Fuck. Yeah, there was another story about some Gurkhas that were in a doctor's waiting room or something like that, or it was like a medical centre, and there was like two of them there, and some guys was like kicking off or being like abusive and shouting, and they basically asked them to stop, and then they made them stop. Darwin Award winner. I love the Darwin Awards. I know it's like, these people had died in stupid ways, but when I first ever heard of the Darwin Awards, it was the one where some guy who worked on an American Air Force base, and he wanted to have a rocket car, and he basically acquired one of the Galaxy C5 Galaxy has assisted boosters that detach from the wings, especially when they're fully laden, to get them off the floor, because that's the problem. Once they're in the air, they're fine. It's getting them up there that's the problem. And they have these like little booster things that they, burn off to give extra speed to get them up, basically. And he strapped one of them to the top of his car, went out into the desert, went and then ignited it, and then they found the wreckage of his car like 50 feet up in the side of a cliff face. He's just mentioned spunk. They identified him through his dental records where he chomped into the steering wheel. Now I think that might have been a lie, that part, but the rest of it I can actually believe. Wallet, sure. Watch, fine. What do you mean you want to assault the young woman sitting next to me and take my knife? Extreme violence ensues. Extreme is probably putting it mildly. Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like you don't fuck about. All right. I think I'm going to call it there because it's 10 to 11 and I'm a little bit drowsy. But yeah, thank you for coming and hanging out. It's been rather lovely today. Nice bit of chatting as well. Fionn, Ben, Bertie, of course, and Prime, wherever you are, just hanging out, hiding somewhere. Prime Heretic. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, should be on as normal. Obviously, coming up to Christmas, Saturday 21st, I won't be on because I have to go stay over at my kids. So, sorry. And then obviously the following Wednesday is Christmas. So it'd be unlikely I'll be streaming. But then again, I did actually do one on, I think, last Christmas. Yeah. I think I did actually come on because it was like once dinner's out of the way and all that, and like, yeah, they want to watch movies. I don't want to watch movies. I'd come in here and do a stream. It was like, oh, let's talk about your Christmas presents. But yeah, so thank you all for hanging out today. It's been, I said, very enjoyable. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow the channel, and press the little bell thing for notifications. Doing the proper YouTube thing there to make sure I hit algorithms and all that sort of stuff. It makes no difference. It's the cold. The cold's getting into your lungs. But yeah, so we'll see you. Should be on at normal time, 8 p.m. Saturday. I hope you have a good rest of the working week. And I look forward to seeing you all at the weekend. So until then, happy hobbying, people. Peace out, and let's be careful out there. And watch out. There's Gurkhas about. Take it easy. Bye.